A study at the Mayo Clinic found that in just 14 days of poor sleep, visceral fat around the organs increased by 11%. That means right now, fat could be silently wrapping around your liver, your kidneys, and your heart touring, and you would never know just by looking in the mirror. Most people over 60 blame their belly on food or age pay, but the real damage is happening at night while they are asleep. There are 5 specific nighttime habits that switch your body from fat-burning mode into fat-storing mode, and nearly everyone is doing at least 3 of them. I have spent years reviewing the research on sleep, metabolism, and organ fat, and what I found genuinely alarmed me. Today, I am going to walk you through each of these 5 mistakes, what they do inside your body, and exactly how to stop them. If you are over 60 and your belly fat will not go away no matter what you try this video may finally explain why. Stay with me until the end 5, because mistake number 5 is the one that fools almost everyone into thinking they have already fixed the problem. What you are about to hear is backed by published research from some of the most trusted medical institutions in the world. Listen carefully.
Today, we are going to discuss 5 nighttime mistakes that quietly build visceral fat around your organs after the age of 60. In which session, we will cover how your phone screen, your dinner timing, your sleep hours, your bedtime stress, and your weekend sleep habits are each contributing to hidden organ fat. Before we get into the mistakes, you need to understand one thing. Visceral fat is not the fat you can see or pinch on your belly. Visceral fat sits deep inside your abdomen, wrapped directly around your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys, and even the tissue surrounding your heart. This type of fat behaves like a toxic factory. It releases inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream around the clock, even while you are resting. And after 60, your body becomes much more vulnerable to storing fat in this deep visceral layer because your hormones shift, your metabolism slows, and your sleep quality drops. Now here is where it gets personal. The 5 habits I am about to show you are things most people do every single night without a second thought.
Mistake number 1 is something you almost certainly did last night. And what it does inside your body will make you think twice tonight.
Let us start with mistake number 1, and I can almost guarantee you did this last night. Mistake number 1 is using your phone or watching a bright screen in bed before you fall asleep. The blue light coming from that screen directly blocks a hormone called melatonin. And melatonin does far more than just help you feel sleepy. Melatonin is one of your body's primary signals to begin breaking down stored fat during the night. It is essentially a fat-burning switch that activates after dark. Researchers found that when blue light suppresses melatonin before bed, fat oxidation slows down dramatically. Your body simply stops processing stored fat while you sleep. A separate review in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences confirmed that chronic melatonin suppression is directly linked to higher fat accumulation and increased obesity risk. So those 30 or 40 minutes you spend scrolling in bed are not harmless. They are actively telling your body to store fat instead of burn it. The fix is straightforward. Stop all screen use at least 45 minutes before your planned sleep time and keep devices away from your bed entirely. Now let us move to mistake number 2. And this one has some of the most convincing research behind it.
This next mistake shocked even the researchers because it proves the clock on your wall matters more than the food on your plate.
Mistake number 2 is eating a full meal or a heavy snack after 8 or 9 at night. A team at Harvard Medical School and Brigham and Women's Hospital ran a tightly controlled experiment where they shifted meal timing by exactly 4 hours, keeping the calories, the food types, and the activity levels identical. When people ate later in the day, their levels of leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you are full and satisfied, dropped across the entire 24-hour period. But the most disturbing finding was in the fat tissue itself. The gene expression had physically shifted toward creating new fat and away from breaking existing fat down. Let me put that plainly. Eating the exact same food just 4 hours later literally reprogrammed fat cells to store more and release less. For someone over 60, this hits even harder because your insulin sensitivity is already lower than it was at 40, and your pancreas has to work much harder to clear glucose from a late meal. Whatever your pancreas cannot process in time gets converted into triglycerides, and those triglycerides get packed directly into visceral fat deposits around your organ. The practical rule is simple. Finish your last real meal at least 3 hours before you go to sleep. If you genuinely feel hungry close to bedtime, keep it small and protein-based. A few almonds or a spoonful of cottage cheese, nothing more. Now, mistake number 3 is the one backed by the study that honestly changed the way I think about sleep and
Mistake number 3 carries the heaviest evidence of all 5. The numbers from this study should be mandatory reading for every person over 60.
Mistake number 3 is consistently sleeping less than 6 hours a night and accepting it as just part of getting older. The Mayo Clinic study I mentioned earlier, led by Dr. Naima Kovasin, tracked 12 healthy adults through 21 days of controlled conditions. When sleep was restricted to just 4 hours a night for 14 days, visceral fat area increased by 11%, while the bathroom scale barely moved at all. Participants also ate over 300 extra calories each day without realizing it, consuming 17% more fat and 13% more protein than they normally would. And their energy expenditure, the calories they burned throughout the day, did not change, meaning every single extra calorie went straight into deep abdominal storage. A 2025 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology confirmed this. Adults sleeping under 5 hours a night had significantly higher visceral obesity risk, even after adjusting for diet and physical activity. If you are over 60, your goal should be 7 to 8 hours of actual sleep every night. Not time lying in bed, actual sleep. If you are regularly falling short of that, bring it up with your doctor, because poor sleep after 60 is not normal aging. It is a medical signal worth investigating. Now, mistake number 4 connects your emotions at bedtime directly to the fat growing around your organs. And once you understand this loop, everything.
Now this one is different, Tad. It connects what happens in your mind at bedtime directly to the fat building around your organs overnight.
Mistake number 4 is climbing into bed with a racing mind and no wind down period when you lie there thinking about money, health worries, family problems, or tomorrow's schedule. Your adrenal glands cannot tell the difference between those thoughts and a physical. They keep releasing cortisol. And research published by the National Institutes of Health found that people with more sleep disturbances had measurably higher evening cortisol levels. Evening cortisol is supposed to be at its lowest point of the entire day. That low point is what allows your body to shift into overnight repair and fat.
This is the exact biological mechanism. 2 hormones working together in the dark to fill your visceral fat cells faster than anything else in your body.
When cortisol stays elevated at night, it teams up with insulin to push triglycerides directly into visceral fat cells, specifically targeting the deep deposits around your midsection and organs. A review on sleep and metabolism confirmed this mechanism. The combination of elevated cortisol and insulin at night preferentially fills visceral fat cells faster than any other fat depot in your body. And then the extra visceral fat itself starts producing inflammatory signals that further disrupt your sleep, creating a cycle where bad sleep feeds belly fat and belly fat destroys your. Breaking this cycle does not require medication. It requires a consistent 15 to 20 minute buffer before bed, where you deliberately bring your nervous system down. Deep breathing, light stretching, sitting quietly in dim light, any of these work as long as you do it every night, not just when you feel stressed.
The last mistake is the one that frustrates me the most, Furry, because it tricks people into believing they have already fixed what is broken.
And now we arrive at mistake number 5, the one that genuinely frustrates me because it gives people a false sense of security. Mistake number 5 is relying on weekend catch-up sleep to undo the damage from a full week of sleeping badly. Almost everyone believes this works. You sleep 4 or 5 hours Monday through Friday, then sleep 9 or 10 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and assume your body. The Mayo Clinic study tested exactly this. After 14 days of short sleep, participants were given 3 full days of recovery sleep with 9 hours in bed each night. Their calorie intake returned to normal and their weight stabilized. But when researchers checked the CT scans, the visceral fat was still increasing even during those recovery days.
This is the finding that should concern you, Belle. The scale says recovered, but the CT scan says the fat around your organs is still growing.
Dr. Kovasan noted that the visceral fat growth was only visible on the CT scan. It would have been completely missed by any standard weight measurement. That means the scale told them everything was fine. But inside, the organ fat was still expanding even after sleep had returned to normal. Weekend sleep cannot undo what 5 nights of poor sleep started. Once the visceral fat engine turns on, 2 good nights are not enough to shut it down. The only real protection is consistency, 7 to 8 hours every single night, including weekends, with the same bedtime and the same wake time. So let me give you all 5 fixes in one place. Screens off 45 minutes before bed. Last meal 3 hours before sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours every night. Build a 15-minute wind-down routine and keep your schedule the same.
Now that you know all 5 mistakes, Pam, here are the 5 fixes, and every single one of them starts working tonight.
If you watched the first video in this series, you already know which 5 drinks are quietly feeding visceral fat during the day. And the second video showed you the one morning habit that locks that fat in place. Tonight's video completes the full picture. You now understand what is happening to your organs in the morning, during the day, and while you sleep.
Everything I shared with you today comes from peer-reviewed published research. Now, not trends, not opinions, not guesswork.
Every fact I shared today came directly from published research at the Mayo Clinic, Harvard Medical School, the National Institutes of Health, and Frontiers in Endocrinology. If this helped you understand something about your body that you did not know before, subscribe, share this with someone you care about, and drop a comment telling me which mistake surprised you most.